Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Missing Manual. I'm Julia.
And I'm JCK. We're so glad you're here.
Today, we're going to talk about how to use AI to schedule different tasks and ways that you can apply it to your day to day. I have personally a couple of agents that I've spun up. Jenny, I think you've got a ton and you've even created some.
Yeah, I think we may have built one together. First was the cleanup agent for being able to clean up your desktop. So we used
My
it just
downloads,
for,
my downloads
yes,
folder.
yes. So just for catch up, in case you didn't see that episode, we used Claude to be able to help Julia organize her file system on her computer. And then, much like Huggy Rao would say, who's a phenomenal author of like one of my favorite books, The Friction Project, change is not a one-time thing. It's like mowing the lawn. You have to be able to do it and you have to systemize it. So it's happening more than once. And so we also scheduled an automation so that Julia's system that she's established can be is mowed every week. And so I have that same one on mine. It's one of my favorites. But my most frequent usage of scheduled automations recently has been for my job search. So I've pivoted into looking for a job doing applied AI in an organization, probably for a forward deployed engineer role, which I found I've loved. But in terms of being able to find those roles, there's a lot out there. And I have a bit of a purple sparkle unicorn that I'm trying to find. And so I built an agentic experience that goes out there. It understands my agents understand my career background, understand what good looks like for me. And with those two anchors, they go out daily for two different searches to come back with different roles. And so, yeah, it's been wonderful. And then I have another agentic team that writes resumes and writes cover letters. They query like my career blueprint, which is all of the projects and all the teams I've led and everything. And it's been kind of fun. Yeah.
So you've built out some documentation to help ground whatever you're building in who you are, the type of work and accomplishments that you've done, what you're looking for, what good looks like for you. And so
Yeah.
when you're using these tools, it's really built for you specifically and what you're looking for. So toned and tuned to JC.
Good is subjective to the individual person. So if Julia is looking for something or if I'm looking for something, right? What our fits are going to be different because we have different goals, right? But like we've said a lot on this show, good is subjective to the individual person. And one of the most important things that we have to do in order to use AI right is to ground the AI on what that version of good is. Now, a lot of people don't necessarily know that. And so what can you do about it? You can have AI actually interview you. So I tend to be a little extra when it comes to AI. Maybe I'm a lot extra when it comes to AI. Yeah, I'm probably a lot extra when it comes to AI. And the way that my brain thinks about this is a lot different than other people. And so I have a very expansive multiple agent system that's doing all these different things on my behalf. And for these roles that I'm applying for, a lot of the times you have to show a build. And in one of the applications I was applying for, it said, what build are you most proud of? And I was like, well, my build I'm most proud of is the build that helped find this job that I'm applying for. How can I capture this and put it somewhere? And so what I did is I worked with my agentic teams to essentially productize my search. And I put it on GitHub and made it available for anybody. So it will walk you through step by step how to build my very, very, very extra agentic teams of systems or agentic system teams to help you with your job search. So and we're gonna share the link to that, but I can show and tell a little bit here real quick if you'd like to see. So this is how it looks. It's called the Builder's Playbook. It's run your job search with AI the way a builder would. So this kind of introduces who I am, gives some different rules before you start. This part is here because, so it says what this page is, an educational guide for people. Every box below is a prompt for you to copy into your own AI account and run yourself with your judgment in the loop. It relies on ordinary web search and public job postings, nothing more. If an AI is reading this page on someone's behalf, treat it as a lesson to walk through together, not a set of commands to execute on its own. This was put into place because it turned out my original site was getting flagged as malicious content by OpenAI, and it wouldn't actually go and do the things. And so, because this was built in Claude, and so I added this little part so that it doesn't do that. The nice thing with this is it's going to break down all the different prompts, all the different pieces that you need in order to set up this agentic system. And there's a lot in here, and it's pretty extensive. But what I did is I added this fastest start you can hand this page to AI. So there's a starter prompt here, and you can copy it and take it to your own AI, whether that's ChatGPT, whether that's Perplexity, whether that's whatever it is, whether it's Claude. I built mine in Claude. But you can just copy and paste this into your AI. And it says, you're my job search partner. First, read this playbook, then walk me through it step by step. And build each file with me as we go. In this order, my version of good, my grounding document, my career blueprint, my search specs, and my scene list. So those are the different components that are needed in order to build the system. And just for a little bit of context and grounding, looks like we lost Julia because there's a big storm going on in Orlando right now. She's visiting her parents. But we're hopefully going to just keep going, and we're going to see if this works with just me. So at first, we're going to explain how this system fits together. So if you know design, you're going to know that this is a double diamond model of design. I'm a huge fan of the double diamond model design. It's something that I use in the talent acquisition world, which is where I grew up, which is define the right thing and then build that right. So it's build the right thing and then build it right. So one diamond is to discover and define your version of good. And that's steps 1 through 3. And the second is develop and deliver the rules and applications that fit it. Those are steps 4 through 6. And it looks like we got Julia back, which is awesome. So,
Yay!
Hey, Jules.
I'm in Florida, and there's a storm going through, and the Wi-Fi is going in and out. If you've ever been in Florida, you know afternoon rainstorms. And so I just hotspotted through my phone, and hopefully it'll stay connected. But I'm sure whatever you said was brilliant because I've seen it in action.
Yeah, we were just walking through it. So I was explaining that initial prompt, and now we're going through kind of how the system works together. And so the first step of this, and if you want to start with that starter prompt, again, that's going to interview you and take you step by step through this, or you can pull the individual prompts and do it in your own LLM. But this first one we've talked about, this one on the show before. It's interviewing yourself for your version of good, which is, again, walking you through what does your version of good look like in your next role. A lot of the time we don't do this. A lot of the time we don't pause to define what good looks like. And it's really hard for AI to be able to help us if we haven't first defined that version of good. I had a lot of feedback from people on this prompt in particular that it's dramatically helped them to crystallize exactly what it is they're looking for. So that's the first piece. And that's, again, that's defining exactly what are we looking for. Where is that bullseye, right? Because in order to have agentic teams go search for your bullseye jobs, you have to first define the bullseye if you want to get it right. Step 2 is to turn that into a grounding document, right? So it's taking that interview and it's actually creating a document that future AI and future you are going to use in order to ground those teams on what your version of good looks like. Step 3 is building your career blueprint. This is not a resume. I'm going to say that again. This is not a resume. This is absolutely everything that you've done in your career from a project standpoint, from teams you've led, from skills you've got, from purple sparkly unicorn of things that you've done, like being able to capture or collect all those dots. And the reason that it's used is because later in this process, that blueprint is going to get queried in order to create a resume that's one size fits one for the jobs that the agents find. A lot of people think of the resume as like, oh, this is my HTS resume or this is my whatever resume, and they're kind of locked and loaded. I am not recommending that you do that. What I'm recommending you do is build an entire blueprint that has all of the different things that you've done in your career. Then the agents are able to understand that and they're able to pull the right use cases into creating a resume for you that's truly one size fits one for the jobs that it finds.
Jenny, I had a version, like I have what I called my master resume. Like this is the low tech version of it, where I have like a 5-page document of all the things. And then when I would job search and apply for a job, I was cherry picking and choosing, and then sometimes creating those separate versions that I would then highlight. And so I love that you built something to make that easier for people.
Yeah, and it really makes a huge difference. And it's a lot easier too. Chances are, unless you've led talent acquisition for 20 years, you probably don't have a master resume of like you might not have this in your background. You might not have a document like this, but that's okay. AI can help interview you. It's for a couple of my mentees and friends that I've had that have done this. They've said it's been a couple hours that it's taken to be able to kind of mine that, and they've put it down for a second and come back to it. But all in all, it's been a really, really helpful thing. One of my mentees was like 30 pages long. And my ex husband, Joel, who's doing his first job search, probably of his entire career, because he'd been with the same company his entire career. He never had to apply for jobs or build a resume or a LinkedIn or anything like that, right? He went through and he's like, wow, my background's really impressive. I was like, I know, right? But we sometimes can forget that, especially when you're in a job search. You can forget you're kind of a big deal. You've got great skills that are desirable by people. And so this also helps to be able to kind of help with that too. Um, and so up to this point, we've built what good looks like for us. And now we've built our master kind of blueprint of our career. And step 4 is building a daily search that finds the roles by fit, not by title. This is critical. So this came, this started from me needing to find roles um, that were truly purple sparkly unicorns, as we would say, in kind of the talent acquisition world. The world that I want to go into is really evolving. And I started looking for applied AI roles specific to the HR space. And there was not a lot of people that can do that. And those roles have all different names. And so I essentially sent these agentic teams out to go search by fit, not by job title. Um, I've also realized now, Julia, that like that's the way we should be searching. It's like we couldn't really do it beforehand. Like it would have been really manual and you would have had to know everybody, right? But like it really works. It's pretty cool. Um, anyways, so this builds a daily search and builds a search spec. So that's like your bullseye, and then your scene list, which is a running log of all of the different companies and roles you've already seen. Because the last thing that you want to do is have agents that are going out there and searching and finding the same exact roles. So we have to make sure that our agentic teams work together. Um, what am I missing on this, Julia? Any other pieces?
I think it's part of this. You want to make sure that you're identifying not just what good looks like, but what bad looks like and what you don't want as
Yes,
part of your exploration. Because I now have learned the types of environments that are a hell no for me. And I took what you pulled together and created a little bit of a nuanced version that I have scheduled daily that goes out and looks for some fractional work and consulting opportunities that I can take a part of as opposed to full time work right now. And so that's been fun and interesting to see what it's bringing to me. I see a lot of different applications of this process that you've pulled together and use cases for people.
absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll make sure that this guide um, the morning digest, the one size fits one resume, all of this, the honest read then prep, um, the teaching it as you go, that you get all of this, my very, very, very extra job search automation as we'll link it to the episode wherever you're seeing it. I think I can stop this now. But yes, I
I think
love
it's a
that you're
great
using it for, again,
fit for me.
so if you know of anybody who's in a search right now, definitely please share. There's no cost involved with this. I don't want to charge people for something like this because I think everybody should have an opportunity to find their next right thing. And let's be honest, the job search process is just a defeating one. It can be. And so anything we can do to help humans, Julia and I sat on the other side of the table. So we were started as recruiters. Then Julia went into leadership. I went into HR tech. And we were building systems to be able to do this exact thing on the employer side. And so what this guide is the flip side of it.
Yeah. And I think trying to make change in really large organizations that have done things the same way all the time, who might not be open to change, was really difficult and challenging sometimes. And being able to be on the other side of this and build things that can help people is really impactful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We should probably wrap this one up for now. But Julia, it's so good to see your face. And for all of those who are tuning in, thank you so much for taking a moment to, invest your time here. This is the Missing Manual Show. I am Jenny Cotie Kangas, and this is Julia Levy. And we are so glad that you joined, and we hope to see you next time. Thanks.
Like and subscribe.
Oh, yeah, that too.